Yeah, so let's get back to show me the money part. So Calvin omitted the fact that there's no records. That's not a problem to him. So he just want to talk to Sam and believe whatever Sam says. He doesn't want to look at the records. And if you look, and he wants to omit all the small spendings, $50 million, $200 million. $200 million is small spending. That's very convenient. He says he didn't know that Binance was a shareholder of FTX. So he invested in FTX without looking at the cap table. But he was very specific in the way he counts for a transaction 2 years ago. So that's kind of contradictory. So I think Calvin's a liar. So I think he's lying about a bunch of stuff. So that's his problem. To us, we want to be transparent. We want to set the golden standard for reliability, solidness in this space.
Do it.
Changpeng Zhao, the chief executive of Binance, recently appeared on CNBC's Squawk Box to address claims that he was responsible for the demise of the now bankrupt cryptocurrency exchange FTX. Recently, CZ, as he is called, has gained attention after Canadian venture capitalist Kevin O'Leary accused him of being substantially responsible for the collapse of the fallen cryptocurrency exchange. In recent interviews and in front of U.S. senators during a congressional hearing, former FTX CEO SBF was mentioned in conversations O'Leary has related. O'Leary claims that SBF informed him that he had spent almost $3 billion to repurchase CZ's 20 shares in the cryptocurrency exchange, where he was questioned by O'Leary about the whereabouts of a significant portion of the funds. O'Leary has therefore singled out CZ as the cause of the catastrophe. Data from blockchain analytics company Manson Binance Sonnet outflows reached a record high of $3 billion on Tuesday, December 13, according to their records. Investors in cryptocurrencies have been rushing to remove their holdings from exchanges as a result of FTX's crash. Additionally, there are rumors that the U.S. Department of Justice is looking at Binance and potentially conducting a money laundering investigation into the exchange and its founder. The significant outflow of cash was acknowledged by CZ in a series of tweets on Tuesday, and he reassured investors that Binance is prepared to handle such sizable withdrawals. The Chinese-Canadian company leader suggested in one of his tweets that stress testing withdrawals on each centralized exchange should be done on a rotational basis. Please watch, share, and like this video, as well as leave your thoughts and observations in the comments section. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more similar content like this.
In 21, Sam Bankman-Fried said that he bought you out, your stake in the company. I imagine he transferred funds to you, likely somewhere between $2 and $3 billion. Is that right?
I remember it was $2.1 billion at the time, and a big chunk of that is in FTT tokens, which are now worthless.
So he sent you FTT tokens, and you believe that the majority of the $2.1 billion was that?
It's a combination of, I believe it was a combination of BUSD, BNB, and FTT. I don't know the exact combination now, but it's probably about, I don't remember exactly, but FTT is a big chunk. And that's why we still had, even after the FTT price dropped over the last year, we still had $500 million worth of it, $580 million worth of it on the day when we transferred from the address we received a year and a half ago. We never touched it. We actually kind of forgot about it. And then we transferred it on the blockchain from that address we received to Binance.com, and that got picked up by the community. So in this industry, everything is very transparent. Well, first of all, I think Calvin O'Leary, he's making a bunch of nonsense claims, and they don't make sense. They don't make any logic. He shouldn't be making those claims as a celebrity investor. I'm actually very surprised that he's able to omit a lot of different things and make some really specific, targeted things. For example, in that interview with you guys, that in the same interview, he said the entire record from his account on FTX, the entire records are gone. He's not concerned about that. He just picks up the phone and calls SBF. He's not concerned about the fact that the platform records for users are gone. He's not concerned about other users. How many people can pick up the phone and call SBF? And he says he was talking with SBF up until the point that SBF was arrested.
Yeah,
that's an indicator of a very special relationship. The well-run crypto exchanges should hold user assets one-to-one. So user deposit Bitcoin, we hold it in Bitcoin, we move to a cold wallet, we keep some in the hot wallet. And people, they sell it, now the Bitcoin belongs to somebody else, but we still hold it in the cold storage. people can withdraw 100% of the assets they have on Binance. We will not have an issue in any given day. So 100% of the users withdraw 100% of the assets, we'll be fine. This is very different for traditional financial people to understand because banks run on fractional reserves. And the traditional regulators, many of them may think that it's okay for crypto businesses to be running on fractional reserves. That is not okay. In crypto, there's no central bank printing money to bail out banks when there's a liquidity crunch. So crypto businesses have to hold user assets one-to-one. And that's what we do. It's very simple. So number one is we do the auto conversion into BUSD, which is not issued by us, which is not the exchange dollar. It's actually issued by a New York DYF licensed entity, Paxos. So the reserves are in New York. It's a stable coin. The problem we had before is we have many different types of stable coins on Binance. And Bitcoin trades against USDC, Bitcoin trades against BUSD, and the USDT, there's TUSD, there's a bunch of other things. And then it's very difficult for users to find the best price. So we said, okay, they're all stable coins and they should convert one-to-one. So let's combine all of them into one so that the users just they want to buy Bitcoin, they go to Bitcoin BUSD and they find it. On the deposit and withdrawal, we do the conversion. We have channels to convert them one-to-one. But the channels we have actually have to go through a bank because to convert from BUSD to USDC, we have to sell BUSD into US dollars, cash in a bank, move it to a different bank account, and then buy USDC at a different institution. So that day, we had more users trying to buy or trying to deposit BUSD and withdrawing USDC. And we ran out of that. And the bank that does the conversion doesn't open until 6 hours later. And that's a bank in New York. So we were actually blocked. This issue was actually caused by a bank. So that's and stable coins is the only one we convert. Every other asset, people deposit Bitcoin, we hold Bitcoin. People deposit Ethereum, we hold Ethereum.
Right. In terms of the credibility of Binance, you disclosed that Binance holds about $60 billion of crypto assets. But thus far, you haven't disclosed your liabilities. And I wonder why that is and whether you will.
Yeah, so we are working with firms to do the audit of financials, liabilities, etc. Very simply, Binance does not owe people money. Binance does not have loans from other companies, from other funds. We just don't have it. You can ask any fund in the ecosystem. You can ask any VC. We actually also do not have VC investments, so we don't owe anybody any money. And we also do not have loans to other people that we depend on for our next payroll. So we are very simple, very self-contained type of organization, and we manage our cash very simply. So that's very, very different from the FTX situation, where so people who are hurt by FTX are now worried about everybody else, and they were defending FTX before. But that's why they have money on FTX. So, but just because they're bitten by one snake doesn't mean that every other animal is the same.
While the sector strives to recover from the brutal FTX meltdown, CZ is not the only executive trying to reassure investors. Brian Armstrong, the co-founder and CEO of the cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase, used his Twitter account on Tuesday to reassure customers and investors. Below are his tweets. Number 1, lots of fear out there in the markets. It's important people remember how different Coinbase is in moments like this. It is based in the US. Number 2, customer assets are backed one-to-one as shown in our public company financials. Number 3, we are well capitalized with a $5 billion balance sheet as shown in our last 10Q filing. Despite the widespread belief that cold wallets are the safest place to store cryptocurrency, SBF and FTX make it impossible to entirely rule out exchanges. Here is a segment from an interview with Galaxy Digital Chief Executive Officer Mike Novogratz that he did on Squawk Box recently. According to Mike, quote, "The people bought Bitcoin because the central banks around the world had monetary policy like we've never seen, right? And so you were debasing fiat currency by, creating this inflationary wave that came, and so it was a perfect inflation head in a lot of ways. It went from 8,000 to 60,000. And then one pal took out his golden hammer and started beating inflation on the head. Bitcoin and lots of other assets that had benefited from all that easy money came down. And I think what will drive price action in the future is some sense that governments won't be able to keep tight fiscal policy and tight monetary policy for very long. Governments are influenced by populism and spend excessive amounts of money. Fidelity is a prime example of this because they're just introducing it to their retail consumers. This is coupled with constant adoption, and you're seeing, new methods that people can participate in Bitcoin in the crypto market even in this terrible bear market. Additionally, the software is really user-friendly and clearly described. So I don't think it's accurate to say that cryptocurrency is dead just because there has been a sell-off. It's quite risky to assume that once there is one black swan, there will be many more of them. This would imply that there will be several criminal organizations, many of which will be run by sociopaths, but this is just not the case. Do you still hold your crypto assets on any centralized exchanges? Are you concerned that we could soon be dealing with another FTX? Please let us know what you think about the tweets and videos shown in this video. Also, make sure to like it and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already.